So as we get to the end of the season, the WTA Finals and the ATP Finals are starting to take a little bit of shape. Of course, the WTA Finals, we're almost there. We've only got a couple weeks until that starts. But let's go have a look at the results last week because we did have some very important results. Okay, starting on the women's side of things, and in Ningbo, Rybakina. She took out Andreeva in the final to win another trophy this year, but very important for her ranking and qualifying for the WTA Finals. We'll talk about that in a second. And then over in Osaka, Japan, Fernandez took out Valentiva in the final in 3 sets to lift another 500 trophy this year as well. So, some big results there on the WTA side. Over on the ATP, we had Medvedev winning his first title in over 2 years in Almaty in Kazakhstan. He took out Mute in the final in 3 sets. Roland Aliassime, he also won a title in Brussels in 3 sets against Lehechka. And Ruud, he wins an indoor hardcourt title in Stockholm by beating Humbert in the final. And a lot of these players needing points for the ATP Finals race, so very important that they win these trophies. Let's have a look at the players that went up in the rankings over the last week that were outside the top 10. Starting with Fernandez, she goes up 5 spots, number 22 in the world. Valentiva, she goes up 21 spots, number 57 in the world, which is a career high for her after making the finals a qualifier in Osaka. And Chen, she went up 18 spots, number 80 in the world, which is a career high for her after winning a challenger event over in China. So, some very important results there. Players went down to the rankings outside the top 10. Badosa, she went down 3 spots, number 26 in the world. Kazakina, she went down 13 spots, number 35 in the world. And Lemens went down 29 spots to number 86 in the world. And all those players had a lot of points from this time last year because they did really, really well in these tournaments, but couldn't replicate that and dropped down the rankings. Over on the ATP side, we had Fokina going up 2 spots to a career high, number 18 in the world. Mute, he went up 5 spots, number 36 in the world, which is also a career high for him after making the final in Kazakhstan. And Kolignon, he went up 17 spots to 73 in the world, which is also a career high for him after having a really good week. So career high rankings for a lot of players there. Players that went down to the rankings, we had Dimitrov. He went down 5 spots to 37 in the world. Of course, not playing for the rest of the year, so we'll keep an eye on him going into next year, how his ranking looks when he comes back. Batista Agut, he went down 30 spots to 87 in the world. And Vukic, he went down 16 spots to 100 in the world. So, some big drops there as well for some players that lost points from this time last year. Okay, let's start on the WTA side with the rankings because everything's starting to come to a finish for the season. And there were some massive changes with Sabalenka staying at number 1, Swiatek at number 2. Gauff stays at 3 with Anisimova at 4 and Pegula at 5. But the bottom half of the top 10, Andreeva, she drops down 3 spots to number 9. Keys drops down 1 spot to number 8. And both Paolini and Rybakina go up 2 spots each to number 6 and 7. So, huge week on the WTA for the rankings. And of course, with only a week or so left and the WTA Finals coming up, it'll be really interesting to see how this ends up. Draper also was in there at number 10, but unfortunately a little bit too far away to be considered into the race of the finals. Let's have a look at the race of the finals though, because we've only got 2 spots left, or we did have 2 spots left before the week started. So right now we've got Sabalenka, Swiatek, Gauff, Anisimova, Pegula, and Keys all qualified from 1 to 6 in that order. Paolini went up 1 spot to number 7, pushing Andreeva down to number 8. And that allowed Paolini to qualify for the WTA Finals. So she is in, and there's only 1 spot up for grabs. And that's going into next week with Rybakina trying to get that final spot. Andreeva's not playing next week. Now, apparently, she's not playing because of a visa issue, not being able to get into Japan to play in Tokyo. So, unfortunately, wasn't able to get a chance to compete and try and qualify on her own racket, possibly because of a visa issue. So, a big opening for Rybakina to try and overtake her with a couple of wins over in Tokyo and take that last spot. Alexandrova, she's in at number 10, too far away to qualify at this point, but she will be an alternate going into the WTA Finals anyway. Going over to the men's side of things, nothing really changed because pretty much every player had a week off in the top 10, except for the Six King Slam. Of course, a lot of players played that. Alcaraz stays at number 1 with Sinner at 2, Zverev at 3, Fritz at 4, Djokovic at 5 with Shelton at 6, Demonor at 7, Musetti at 8, Draper at 9, but down the bottom, despite getting injured, Holger Rune, he gets back into the top 10, pushing Hashanov out of the top 10 for this week, and unfortunately Rune won't be playing for a long time, so he'll be in the top 10 for now. Maybe he finishes in the top 10, we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but right now he's at number 10, but unfortunately that injury is not looking good. So that's what the top 10 looks like for this week. No major changes yet. Okay, over to the race of the finals, and we're starting to get to the last couple of weeks of the season, so the points are really, really important. But there's no change at the top at the moment with Alcaraz at 1 and Sinner at 2, Djokovic at 3, Zverev at 4, Fritz comes in at 5, with Shelton at 6, Demonor at 7, Musetti at 8, But down the bottom, Roud and Aliassime, he overtakes Draper to go to number 9, pushing Draper down to number 10 after he won a title on the indoor hard court. So every point's going to count, and FAA did make the most of it by winning a title last week. Still a little bit behind Musetti and de Minaur, but slowly closing that gap. And we also had Djokovic qualifying for the ATP Finals. Now, we don't know if he's going to play. He might play, he might not. He hasn't decided yet, but he has officially qualified. So there's only 5 spots up for grabs going into the final weeks of the season. So there it is. That is what the race to the finals looks like. It's starting to get really, really interesting on the men's side of things with only 5 spots up for grabs. Zverev is pretty much qualified. He's so close. He only has to have a good week next week. Let me know in the comments below who is going to qualify for the race to the finals on the men and the women's side, because on the men's side, it's starting to get pretty interesting as well. And some players that are sort of down the bottom of that top 8. You know, de Minaur, he's been injured. Musetti, Shelton, they've all been a little bit injured the last couple of weeks. So we'll see who can sneak into the finals. But there it is. That is the rankings this week, and it's getting really, really interesting.